Now we are going to begin with a very interesting topic again, that is human population. As you all must be aware that it is a big concern around the world of this rising human population. So this population increase is actually affecting us a lot. So if I want to actually convey something very important, I just want to say to you that if we are following the same standards of living, if that are being actually there, right? So we need to have to control this human population, this rising human population. And why do we need to control this? Because this is going to pose a great threat in the near future. For this rising human population, we need more food resources. We need more place to live. So this means that we need to have more planets like Earth, which is not possible, right? So we'll be discussing human population growth curves. Population growth curves are the mathematical expressions of how we're going to study this population. First of all, remember, this scientific study of human population is known as demography. Okay, the scientific study of human population is known as what? It is known as demography. So this is what we are going to study scientifically. Then we'll study the causes of increase in population. This is an overview of the chapter, the syllabus. We'll also study these terms, that is biotic potential, environmental resistance and carrying capacity. So this is going to tell you how the environment is going to play a major role in controlling the population, or when we talk about the carrying capacity of the environment, by this we mean to say that environment has a certain limit. Okay, so it is going to sustain the population to a certain limit because environment has a carrying capacity. So this is going to be very interesting when we're going to study this in detail. We'll also study the birth rate, death rate. This birth rate and death rate also has an important part to study in terms of this population increase, because the number of births and the number of deaths are going to influence the number of individuals in a population, right? So they're very important. Then we'll study the age distribution, types of growth curve. As I told you earlier, we'll study two types of growth curves: J-shaped, that is an exponential growth curve, and S-shaped curve, that is a sigmoid growth curve, in greater detail. Then we'll study the causes and measures to control population, natural measures also and artificial measures also. So as I told you, if this population is going to increase at such a faster rate, so what is going to happen? We will not be having sufficient space to live. We will not be having sufficient resources for each individual, right? So for this, what is important is to control this population increase. So as science students, we'll do the scientific study of population, that is known as demography. We'll study the factors which contribute to this increase in population, and we'll also study how we can control this increase in population. So it is very important because this is your social responsibility towards a society, so that you provide the future generations a safe place to live, a more healthier place to live, and for the environment to actually have this carrying capacity, which is going to pose a certain limit to what this human population can survive in a certain carrying capacity of the environment. So this topic is going to be very interesting because this is a social problem and a global one also. So this human population, which is the major concern over these years, we will study this in a scientific way and we'll learn, and let's take a pledge that we're going to spread awareness among the people who are not aware of this rising problem. As you all know that the developing countries are actually suffering from this problem, this rising human population, to a greater extent than the developed countries. Though the developed countries have the population that is quite less as compared to developing countries, but the single individual, if we compare with a developing country and an individual from a developed country, what do you see? If a person from United States, which is a very developed country, right, is going to do what? It's going to use the resources. So as compared to a person from a developing country, he is going to use more resources because they have more higher standards of living and more income. But a person from a developing country cannot support so. So, if this population is controlled in a developing country, it is possible that this will lead to the progress of a country, because for the government it will be easier to make the resources available to each and every individual, right? So, let us begin with this very interesting topic. I'll make this interesting for you, and I hope that by this understanding, in the near future, you'll actually show your concern towards this global problem.